I'm sure you felt exhausted just looking at your kitchen with all the grease crumbs and stuff scattered everywhere, right? But don't worry. Today you only need 30 minutes to turn your kitchen into a clean, organized space, giving you more time to relax without feeling overwhelmed. In this video, I'm going to show you how to clean your kitchen quickly and efficiently, from the countertops to the hidden corners, so you can get your kitchen looking tidy without spending hours on it. A clean kitchen not only gives you a comfortable space to cook, but it also helps reduce stress every time you walk in. In just 30 minutes, you'll save time for other things and create a pleasant environment for the whole family. And if you're feeling overwhelmed with housework, this video is exactly what you need. Before we get started, I'd love to know, what's your biggest struggle in the kitchen right now? Is it grease buildup on your stove, or the piles of clutter that never seem to go away? Share with me in the comments, and I'll help you find a solution. Now let's get started with the cleaning. When it comes to cleaning the kitchen, I always start with the high traffic areas, the ones that get dirty the quickest and are the most noticeable. These are things like the countertops, the kitchen island, and the drop zone where all the random stuff piles up. If I don't tackle these spots first, the kitchen will feel messy no matter how much I clean everything else. Here's how I clean these areas quickly and efficiently. First things first, the countertops. This is where everything happens. Spills, crumbs, oil, splashes, they all end up here. What I do is clear everything off first. I make sure all the clutter papers and stray utensils are out of the way. Then I grab my trusty all-purpose cleaner and spray it down. I let it sit for a minute or two to break down any grease or crumbs. Then I take a microfiber cloth and start wiping it down. I go up and down, then side to side to make sure I'm covering every inch. If I have some stubborn spots, I'll use a soft sponge to gently scrub those areas. For grease or food stains, a little extra elbow grease with the sponge works wonders. Next up is the kitchen island. I love this space, but it can get messy fast. Before I even start wiping it down, I clear everything off of it. Papers, random stuff, you name it. I don't want to be wiping around clutter. Once it's clean, I'll use the same all-purpose cleaner to spray it down. But if it's a wood island, I'll switch to a gentler cleaner to protect the finish. If there are any grease marks or tougher stains, I'll use a mild scrub pad. Again, I always make sure to avoid anything too abrasive that could damage the surface. Once it's clean, I give it a quick wipe with a dry microfiber cloth to remove any moisture or streaks. Now the drop zone, this is usually the spot where everything just ends up: keys, mail, random receipts, etc. It can get out of hand pretty quickly. The first thing I do is sort through everything. I'll create piles, things to toss, things to file, and things to put back where they belong. Having a little system like this makes the process so much faster. After I've organized the mess, I grab my microfiber cloth and give the surface a good wipe down. It's such a relief to see the space looking neat again. I also like to use a small basket or tray to corral any items I want to keep on the counter, like keys or mail, just to keep it looking tidy without a ton of clutter. I can't forget the kitchen walls, especially the ones behind the stove, where grease and food splashes tend to stick. I'll spray a little grease-fighting cleaner on those areas and let it sit for a minute. This gives the cleaner time to break down the grease. Then I take a soft brush or sponge and scrub gently. If there's any stuck on grime, I don't scrub too hard, but just enough to get it off. After I've cleaned all the spots, I go over everything with a dry microfiber cloth to pick up any leftover cleaner or grease. It's such a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in the kitchen's overall appearance. Last but not least, the kick plates, the area under your cabinets near the floor. These little guys always collect dust and debris, especially if you're cooking often. To clean them, I just grab a damp microfiber cloth and wipe them down. I pay extra attention to the edges where dust and crumbs can get stuck. If the buildup is stubborn, I'll use a mild cleaner or a scrub pad to tackle it, but again, nothing too harsh to avoid scratching the surface. Once everything's wiped down, I go over the area one last time with a dry cloth to make sure it's free of moisture or streaks. So that's it. It may seem like a lot, but trust me, starting with these key areas makes a huge difference. The kitchen feels cleaner, more organized, and less overwhelming. If you tackle these spots first, the whole space will start to feel fresh and tidy in no time. Before we move on to the next area, let me give you a quick sneak peek of what's coming up in the next video. In the next video, we're diving into some super practical daily habits that can keep your home clean and tidy without all the stress. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by clutter, you definitely won't want to miss this. All right, now that we've tackled the big surfaces, it's time to deal with the kitchen tools and utensils, the stuff that's easy to overlook, but can make your kitchen feel just as cluttered and messy. Here's how I quickly take care of everything from dirty dishes to kitchen gadgets. First up, the sink full of dirty dishes. If there's one thing that makes a kitchen look instantly messy, it's a pile of dishes waiting to be washed. I always make sure to clear the sink first. I find that even if the rest of the kitchen looks clean, a dirty sink makes everything feel chaotic. So I spend a few minutes washing the dishes or putting them in the dishwasher. If I'm feeling really lazy, I just give them a quick rinse and stick them in the dishwasher right away. If I don't have a dishwasher, I'll quickly scrub the most used items like plates and cups to make sure they're out of the way. It only takes a few minutes, but it totally changes the vibe of the kitchen. Speaking of the dishwasher, a lot of people don't realize it needs cleaning too. If you're running a dishwasher a lot, especially after big meals, it can easily build up gunk and grime. I always make sure to clean the filter and the rubber seals around the door. To clean the filter, I just pull it out, rinse it under warm water, and scrub off any food particles that have gotten stuck. For the seals, I'll wipe them down with a damp cloth to remove any food or mold buildup. Sometimes I run a self-cleaning cycle on the dishwasher with a cleaning tablet or a little vinegar to make sure it's functioning properly. Trust me, it makes a huge difference in how well your dishwasher works. Next up, the coffee maker, blender, and toaster. These are the appliances that tend to collect dust food splatters and oil over time. I'll be honest, I don't clean these every day, but when I'm giving the kitchen a good reset, I make sure to tackle them. For the coffee maker, I do a deep clean once a week. I run a water and vinegar solution through it to clean out any buildup. Then I wipe down the outside with a soft cloth. For the blender, I rinse it immediately after use to avoid gunk getting stuck. If it does get a little gross, I fill it with warm water and dish soap, then blend it for a few seconds. As for the toaster, I make sure to empty the crumb tray and give it a quick wipe down. Now the oil and grease containers, you know those jars or bottles you keep around for used cooking oil or grease? I don't know about you, but I hate having those sitting around looking all greasy and gross. What I usually do is set them aside temporarily while cleaning. Then I'll ask the homeowner if they're planning to keep them. If they're not, I'll throw them out or clean them out before putting them away. If they do want to keep them, I'll make sure to clean the outside of the container with a damp cloth and make it look as neat as possible. For the inside, I just let it sit for a while, and if I need to, I'll wipe it down with a paper towel or old rag to get rid of any leftover grease. Lastly, the clutter on the counter. This one's a bit tricky because it's different for everyone. Some people have stacks of mail, others have pens, keys, or small appliances scattered around. I like to quickly sort through everything, putting away what belongs in a drawer or cabinet, and throwing out things that are just taking up space. For things like papers, I'll organize them into piles or stash them in a small basket or tray for easy access. I always try to keep the counters clear because a clean open space immediately makes the kitchen feel tidier. Now let's talk about kitchen cabinets. These are often the most overlooked spots when it comes to cleaning, but trust me, a quick cleanup can make your entire kitchen look a lot more polished. We'll focus on the cabinet doors, the handles, and of course the trash cabinet, which can easily get neglected. Here's how I clean them up quickly. First up, the cabinet doors. Over time, they can collect grease fingerprints and general grime, especially the ones near the stove. I usually start by spraying a little bit of all-purpose cleaner on the surface and wiping it down with a microfiber cloth. For wooden doors, I go with a gentler cleaner to avoid stripping the finish. But for laminate or metal doors, I use a stronger cleaner to get rid of any grease buildup. After wiping it all down, I always make sure to buff the surface with a dry microfiber cloth to give it a nice shine. If there are any stubborn spots that don't come off with a basic cleaner, I'll use a soft sponge or magic eraser to get into the grooves. Just be careful not to scratch the surface, especially if it's painted or has a delicate finish. Now let's talk about cabinet handles. These are the spots that can get really dirty because they're constantly touched. The oil from your fingers, especially after cooking, sticks to them, and they quickly collect grease and grime. I give the handles a deep clean with a disinfecting wipe or a cleaning solution that's specifically for grease. I make sure to rub around the handle, the edges, and even the little grooves where grease tends to build up. If the grease is stubborn, I use a small brush to get into the tiny spaces. Once I've cleaned the handles, I'll wipe them down with a dry cloth to remove any cleaner residue, ensuring they're nice and shiny without any streaks. Finally, let's tackle the trash cabinet, an area that often gets overlooked, but can get pretty nasty. It's where all the waste food scraps and sometimes even liquid spills can make things smelly and gross. First, I'll take everything out of the cabinet, any trash bags, extra liners, or stuff that's been piling up. Then I use a disinfecting cleaner to spray the inside of the cabinet. I make sure to get the corners and edges where spills tend to happen. Sometimes I'll even use a baking soda paste, just baking soda and water, to scrub away any lingering stains or smells. To get rid of any lingering odor, I always sprinkle a little baking soda at the bottom of the cabinet before putting everything back. This will help absorb odors and keep things fresh. Once I've wiped everything down and dried it, I replace the trash bag with a fresh one. These steps are super quick, but make such a difference in how your kitchen feels. By taking care of the cabinet doors handles and the trash area, you'll get a more polished and hygienic kitchen, which makes a big impact even though these areas are often ignored. It only takes a few minutes, but it's well worth it for the clean kitchen feel. Now let's talk about the refrigerator. Honestly, the inside of the fridge is one of those areas that's super easy to forget about until it starts to get really gross. A clean fridge is crucial for both food safety and maintaining a tidy kitchen. I noticed in the last video the fridge wasn't covered, so I'll walk you through my routine for cleaning it. First things first, empty the fridge. Yes, everything. I find that if I try to clean around the items in the fridge, it never really gets clean. So I take everything out and check for anything that's expired or looks questionable. I'll toss anything that's past its prime because, trust me, you don't want that smell to linger in there. Once everything's out, I wipe down the shelves and drawers with an all-purpose cleaner or a mixture of warm water and dish soap. For the shelves, I like to use a microfiber cloth because it's gentle but effective. For the crisper drawers, I'll sometimes use a soft sponge to scrub any sticky spots or spills from produce. Don't forget the gasket, the rubber seal around the door. I give it a quick wipe down with a damp cloth and make sure there's no food or moisture stuck in there. One of the most important parts of fridge cleaning is getting rid of expired or spoiled food. I like to go through the fridge shelf by shelf and check the dates on everything. It's easy for things to get buried in the back, so I always make sure to pull everything out and check. It takes just a minute but prevents things from going bad and getting forgotten. I also take this time to organize what's left in the fridge. I'll put all the leftovers or opened items in the front so I can easily access them before they expire. It helps cut down on food waste and keeps things from piling up in there. Now let's talk about the freezer. Yes, it's just as important for me. The freezer is one of those areas that's easy to ignore, but it can get messy fast. I'll quickly check the freezer to make sure there's no old ice cream containers, frozen veggies, or other items that have been there way too long. I also clean the ice trays or ice maker if needed. I fill the trays with warm water. Let them sit for a minute to loosen any old ice and then wipe them down. It's a small task, but helps prevent any funky smells from building up in there. After all that, I like to go over the entire fridge with a clean, dry microfiber cloth just to wipe down any remaining moisture or cleaner residue. This is a good time to check for any crumbs that may have fallen into the crevices and wipe those away too. Once everything's clean and dry, I'll put the food back organizing as I go. Cleaning your fridge regularly not only keeps everything hygienic, but also helps you keep track of what you have so you don't end up throwing away food that you forgot about. It only takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do this, but it makes a huge difference in how your kitchen feels and functions. Plus, you'll be way more motivated to cook when your fridge is organized and clean. Now let's move on to the kitchen appliances. These are the workhorses of the kitchen, and they tend to get dirty quickly, especially when we're cooking with a lot of oil or food. I'm going to show you how I clean everything from the glass cooktop to stainless steel appliances and even the range hood to make sure everything is sparkling clean and running smoothly. First up, the glass cooktop. This one can get a little tricky, especially if you've been cooking things that splatter or spill. Oil, grease, and food can easily burn onto the surface, leaving ugly stains. To get rid of those stubborn spots, I always use Easy Off. It's great for cutting through grease and stuck on food without damaging the glass. I spray it directly onto the cooktop, let it sit for a minute, and then use a non-abrasive sponge to scrub gently. If there are any burnt spots, I might use a razor blade scraper carefully, of course, to lift them off. After scrubbing, I wipe everything clean with a damp microfiber cloth, then dry it with a clean, dry cloth to leave it streak-free and shiny. Next up, I tackle the stainless steel appliances. These always look sleek and shiny when they're clean, but they're magnets for fingerprints and smudges, especially around the handles. I use a special stainless steel cleaner to make sure I'm not leaving streaks behind. I just spray a little on a soft cloth and buff it into the surface, moving in the direction of the grain. For appliances like the refrigerator, oven, and dishwasher, I clean the front panels and handles first. For any spots that are more stubborn, I'll use a little vinegar mixed with water on a cloth, then dry it off with another cloth to prevent water spots. It's quick, but it makes a noticeable difference. While we already tackled the inside of the fridge, don't forget about the outside. I give the door and the sides of the fridge a quick wipe down with a multi-surface cleaner to get rid of dust fingerprints and food splashes. This helps maintain that nice shiny finish. I also wipe down the handle because, let's be real, that's where the most grease and grime end up, from constantly opening and closing the door. Finally, the range hood or exhaust fan. This one doesn't always get cleaned as often as it should, but trust me, it's essential. The grease from cooking can travel far and get caught in the hood, making it smell and look greasy. I start by wiping down the filter with warm, soapy water. If it's really dirty, I might even soak it for a few minutes to break down the grease. For the outer part of the hood, I'll use a grease-fighting cleaner to tackle any oil splatters. If the hood is made of stainless steel, I'll clean it with the same stainless steel cleaner I use on my appliances. And don't forget to clean the fan blades if they're exposed. They can get pretty grimy if you don't wipe them down every so often. So that's how I clean all the major kitchen appliances quickly and effectively. Keeping your cooktop stainless steel appliances and range hood clean will not only make your kitchen look amazing, but it will also help your appliances work better and last longer. Plus, it's always nice to have a kitchen that's ready to tackle the next big meal without the mess hanging around. All right, let's talk about the kitchen floor. Now, the floor can really make or break how clean your kitchen looks, but it's also one of those things that gets ignored the most. With all the crumbs, spills, and grease that come from cooking, it's easy for the floor to get messy without you even realizing it. Here's how I clean it up quickly and thoroughly so the kitchen really shines. The first thing I always do is vacuum the whole kitchen. Yes, the whole area, even under the cabinets and the kick plates. It might seem like a hassle, but trust me, vacuuming first helps remove all the dirt, crumbs, and dust that have accumulated. For under the cabinets, I use a slim vacuum attachment to get into those hard-to-reach spaces. The same goes for the kick plates at the bottom of the cabinets. They collect a lot of dust and debris, and I want to make sure I get that out before I start mopping. Vacuuming also helps prevent dirt from just spreading around when you start mopping, so it's a really important step. Next, I focus on those nasty corners and the area near the kick plates. These spots are often the dirtiest because they don't get cleaned as often, but they make such a huge difference in the overall cleanliness of the kitchen. I'll grab a scrub brush or scrub pad and go over the edges near the baseboards and around the corners. These areas tend to collect the most grime from spills or splashes that go unnoticed. I'll spray some all-purpose cleaner or grease-fighting cleaner on these spots and let it sit for a minute to break down any grease. After that, I give it a good scrub to get rid of any gunk. For the hard-to-reach places like behind the stove or under the refrigerator, I usually use a long-handled brush or even a Swiffer duster to grab any dust or dirt that is built up. Now let's talk about grout. If you have tile floors, you know that grout can get dirty really quickly, especially in the kitchen where spills and splashes happen all the time. Grout can be a major pain to clean, but it's so important for keeping your floors looking fresh. I use a special grout cleaner that I spray directly onto the grout lines. These cleaners are designed to break down grease and dirt that have gotten stuck in the porous grout. I let the cleaner sit for a few minutes, then grab a grout brush. It's a small tapered brush that's perfect for getting into the lines and scrub the grout lines in small sections. If the grout is really dirty, I'll do this in layers, applying the cleaner scrubbing and then wiping up the excess. Once it's all clean, I go over it with a damp cloth to pick up any remaining cleaner and residue. It's a little extra work, but the difference it makes in the overall appearance of the floor is totally worth it. Once I've scrubbed the grout and cleaned the edges, it's time for the final step mopping. I usually use a microfiber mop with a mix of warm water and floor cleaner to give the entire floor a good clean. I'll mop in small sections, working my way from one side to the other so the floor gets evenly cleaned. I make sure to pay extra attention to areas near the edges and under the cabinets, since those are the spots that often get missed. After I'm done mopping, I'll let the floor dry for a bit before walking on it, and voila, a clean, shiny kitchen floor. Keeping the kitchen floor clean might seem like a lot of work, but if you vacuum first, scrub the tough spots, and clean the grout regularly, it's not as bad as it seems. A clean floor really ties everything together and makes the whole kitchen feel more polished. Plus, it helps keep your space sanitary and comfortable, especially after a long day of cooking. So that's a wrap on today's deep clean. We've tackled everything from the countertops and kitchen appliances to the refrigerator and floor. By breaking things down into manageable steps, we've made the kitchen feel fresh, clean, and organized in no time. I hope these tips help you keep your space not just looking great, but also feeling more functional and comfortable for everyday life. And hey, if you found these tips useful, don't forget to hit like, share this with someone who could use a quick cleaning boost, and subscribe for more. Now for the next video, we're diving into some super practical daily habits that can keep your home clean and tidy without all the stress. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by clutter, you definitely won't want to miss this. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and happy cleaning.